Friends, do you know there is a plane that can fly into the most dangerous enemy areas without being seen or heard? A plane that carries powerful weapons and can destroy any target on Earth and still come back home safely. That plane is the B-2 Spirit, also known as the stealth bomber. It looks like a flying black triangle, almost like something from a science fiction movie. But it's real. And it was created by America during one of the most dangerous times in history, the Cold War. The B-2 bomber is not just a machine. It is a result of fear, intelligence, technology, and the desire to stay the most powerful country in the world. After World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union became rivals. They did not fight face to face on a battlefield, but they were always preparing for war. This time in history was called the Cold War, and both countries built huge armies and nuclear weapons. The world was living under the shadow of nuclear disaster. America wanted to make sure that if a war ever started, they would be able to strike back, fast, hard, and secretly. That's when the idea of stealth came into existence. Radar was the biggest problem for air attacks. Radar systems can detect airplanes by sending out radio waves. These waves bounce off planes and return to the radar screen. That's how enemies detect incoming attacks. America wanted to build something that radar could not see, a plane that could become invisible. In the 1970s, American scientists started working secretly on aircraft with a special design. The first success was the F-117 Nighthawk, the world's first real stealth fighter. It was small, sharp-angled, and hard to spot on radar. But it could only carry small bombs and fly short distances. America needed something much bigger, a long-range bomber that could carry nuclear weapons across the world without being detected. That's how the B-2 project began. It was one of the most secret and expensive projects in military history. The development of the B-2 was hidden from the public. Billions of dollars were spent in total secrecy. The project was called the Advanced Technology Bomber Program. Only a few top people in the government and military even knew about it. In 1988, America finally showed the world the B-2 bomber. It was a shock. The design was like nothing seen before. A flying wing with no tail and no sharp edges. The B-2 looked like a dark flat triangle that could silently pass through the sky. But the real power was not in how it looked. It was in what it could do. The B-2 was built to be completely invisible to radar. Its body was made using radar-absorbing materials. The surface was smooth and angled in a way that radar waves would slide off instead of bouncing back. It could carry 18 tons of bombs, including nuclear weapons, and fly more than 11,000 kilometers without needing to refuel. It could fly around the world with air refueling. It could fly at night or in bad weather. And most of all, it could go into heavily defended enemy areas and return safely, without ever being seen. All this was done with just 2 pilots. Inside the cockpit, the pilots used some of the most advanced computers and navigation systems ever built. The B-2 doesn't even need GPS to find its target. It can fly using terrain maps and satellite data, even if GPS signals are blocked. The idea behind the B-2 was simple. Go anywhere in the world, strike any target, and come back before anyone even knows you were there. This gave America a huge advantage. No matter how strong enemy defenses were, the B-2 could get through. That's why America spent over $2 billion on each aircraft. Only 21 B-2s were ever built, making it one of the most rare and expensive aircraft in history. Every one of them is treated like a national treasure. They are stored in climate-controlled hangars, and their stealth coating has to be maintained with great care. Even a small scratch in the paint can reduce its invisibility. But why did America feel the need to spend so much? The answer is power, protection, and fear. The world during the Cold War was full of unknowns. Nuclear war could start at any moment. The US needed a weapon that would make any enemy think twice before launching an attack. The B-2 became a silent message to the world. Even if you hit us first, we can still find you, and we will strike back before you ever see us coming. The B-2 is not just a bomber. It is part of what the military calls nuclear deterrence. It tells enemies that any surprise attack will lead to total destruction. That fear keeps countries from pressing the red button. Even after the Cold War ended, the B-2 remained useful. In 1999, during the Kosovo War, the B-2 was used for the first time in battle. It flew from the United States, bombed targets in Serbia, and returned, all in one mission. No other aircraft had ever done that. In 2001, after the 9/11 attacks, B-2s were used in Afghanistan to strike Taliban positions. In 2003, they were used again during the Iraq War. Every time, the B-2 hit targets with incredible accuracy, sometimes even more precise than expected. The enemy never saw it.
The bomber could carry smart bombs, GPS-guided weapons, and bunker busters that could destroy underground facilities. Its ability to drop bombs silently made it the first choice for starting any major war campaign. It would go in, destroy enemy radar, air defenses, and communication systems, and then other planes would follow. The B-2 opened the door. The B-2's impact was not just in war, but in how wars were planned. It changed the strategy of air attacks. Now, stealth became a top priority for every country. If you could not see the plane, you could not stop it. And if you couldn't stop it, you had already lost the war. Other countries, like Russia and China, started working on their own stealth programs. But the B-2 was far ahead. Even after 30 years, no other stealth bomber has matched it. Its design, systems, and performance are still top secret. The US Air Force never reveals full details about what the B-2 can do. But one thing is sure, it is still one of the most dangerous planes in the sky. To keep it alive for the future, America is now developing a new stealth bomber called the B-21 Raider. It is cheaper, faster to build, and will work with newer technologies like artificial intelligence and drones. But until the B-21 is fully ready, the B-2 will remain active. At all times, B-2 bombers are ready to fly. They are kept on high alert, with full weapons waiting for a command. If a global conflict begins, they will be among the first to launch. The cost is high. Each flight costs millions of dollars. But the fear they create is priceless. The enemy knows, you can't fight what you can't see. The B-2 doesn't just carry bombs, it carries the weight of silent power. It's not about showing strength loudly, it's about knowing that strength is always in the sky, even when you can't see it.